Welcome to the Chatbox, everybody. This is episode 10, you guys. We need to celebrate because that's big.
Wow.
10 episodes for a brand new podcast here in the Vail Valley, right?
Yeah, very exciting, huh, Liz?
Yay. We are missing you, Jen. Jen has a little bronchitis. I don't know if it's a little or a lot, but we don't have to go there. But she's sick today, and I got to say, I think Jen would love you. I'm really excited to announce who is with us today. Rachel do you say it Glowacki?
We do. It's phonetic. We say we glow and we're wacky.
I love
that. So it's easy to remember.
Glowacki.
You said before, I'm feeling a little Glowacki. So.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And you're somebody that is perfect for the chat box because everybody knows that we like to discuss mental health and wellness and physical being and all the good things for self-love and how to nurture ourselves and just how to feel better even if you have to get through the day.
Exactly, Liz, exactly. So it's very exciting to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me.
I can't wait. So I have a couple of notes on you because you're a very impressive woman, okay? So first of all, you're from New York, and so am I, so woohoo for the East Coasters.
Yeah, where in New York?
Well, I was born in Westchester, but I left when I was really young.
So was I.
Oh my God!
White Plains.
No.
That's awesome. White Plains. Yeah, maybe White Plains in New York. Where were you born? You don't. Okay, but that's so funny. What are the odds of being Westchester New Yorkers?
I know, right?
It's very strange. I got shipped to Florida real quick. Okay, so then you ended up here in Eagle, which is a lovely part of the valley. We love it over there.
Yes.
Now yoga is your first and foremost, I would venture to think.
Yes.
Okay, so the practice of yoga is so incredibly fascinating to me. I just do yoga at home. I do a lot of the stretches and stuff like that. I just find it to be something that in my mind, it's almost a form of meditation because you really have to concentrate.
Absolutely.
You have to concentrate. Otherwise, you fall over, and that's why I don't go to class.
Don't want to show your clumsy ass everywhere, Liz.
No, I'm not. It's really not attractive at all. And I know you work with kids. I want to get into that as well because I would love to hear what the benefits of yoga for children is. But then you also teach the melt method.
Yes, the melt method.
What is the melt method?
Yeah, please.
The melt method, it's great. At the Vitality Collective, Sophia Lindroff and I both are the melt teachers in the Valley. If anyone's listening and wants to get trained, we need more melt teachers. So melt is a roller. So you have a roller, and then you have tools. And the intention is to release tension in the body, to connect with your nervous system, relax the connective tissue, and hydrate your joints.
Ooh.
So basically everything that I need right now.
Yeah, and it's different from stretching. It's more like myofascial release, and there's specific methods. And the melt method is she does the founder does a lot of research studies and helps with chronic stress.
Wow.
It really feels the tagline is hands off body work. And so you feel like you left and had a massage.
Wow, that's very exciting.
Oh
really magical.
Where is this and when does it happen? And
yes.
why wasn't I there today?
Yes. Well, you can sleep in. It's at 12 o'clock on Wednesdays and Fridays at the Vitality Collective in Eagle.
Vitality Collective.
Yes.
I haven't even heard of that place.
Oh my goodness,
Eagle.
it's like magic. You can do HIIT training. You could do yoga. HIIT training, high intensity interval training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some kickboxing classes.
Yeah, I love kickboxing.
I'll be the person in the corner.
Yeah, it's from melt to strength training to yoga to kids.
All right, I might have to move to Eagle just to get all of this, except for the kid part. Yeah, get there. And then there's also Yoga Shred.
Yes.
Now I'm learning so many things. I went online to learn about you, and I'm learning words more than you. But what is Yoga Shred?
So it's another method. It's basically HIIT training with yoga.
Oh my goodness.
So
you're combining you'll do a yoga sequence, a flow and a stretch, and then you'll do a HIIT session, which is 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, 8 rounds of work, so it equals 4 minutes of exercise. So it's a quick way
That's
to.
my plan.
It's so good because it's basically going for a walk for an hour in 15 minutes. So
oh my
it's
God,
really
I wish we had space because I almost want. Maybe we could.
do a little HIIT session.
No, look at me. They're like, I don't think we did not think ahead of this.
Although
maybe one day you'll come back and we could set it up.
we totally could do a little
'Cause Jen
session.
needs to be here for that one.
Oh, that'd be fun. I teach at the senior center too, so we do chair
What'd
yoga.
you do?
Oh, chair yoga.
I looked at him. I teach at no, but we do.
Oh, but that is exciting. So you work at the senior center as well. That's cool.
Yeah, and then I'll do a little bit of HIIT training with them in the chair. So if you're in the chair, because they can't, a lot of people can't stand up, so we'll just like run in place for 20 seconds, and then we'll pause, and then we'll use our arms, or then we'll do some cross lateral movement.
That has to be.
It's the best thing. It's my highlight.
Not only. Okay, so I'm thinking about aging and being in a position where you are somewhere like that. I would think that how mentally healthy and stimulating it has to be when you show up and they get to do, even if they are chair bound, they still get to move. And motion is lotion and love is love.
I love that.
We were going to have a whole other topic in about 30 seconds.
Awesome, but that we
Liz. Careful there. We did that episode already, so.
You missed out.
darn, I need to listen to that one.
Smoking and we don't smoke after that one.
That is great.
No, I'm serious though, for the elderly or just in people that are just now stuck in a different position that they were in their life. I think that must be a wonderful experience for them.
It is. It's so great to see them, and like they're like one lady after class, she always like, I'm so relaxed, I can't get up out of the chair. It was so great.
Liz.
It's just nice to see smiles, and we were just like giggling and laughing.
That is sweet, and they must light up.
Oh, it's so great.
They really must light up.
Well, that's very exciting. So when did you start doing that sort of thing?
A couple years ago. So I like teach from little people to older people.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, as you were talking, it made me think about why I do this, and it's because I need it too. Yoga has changed my life and my mental health as a person with anxiety. And it's oh, you're a yoga teacher, but you have anxiety? Well, yes, I do. And that's why I have these tools and these practices, and I get to share them because it has really helped me take care of my anxiety.
B, I think you're thinking the same thing right now of a question as me. You asked for, I don't know, no, not the hot seat. No.
Okay. I was like, what?
No.
So when did you figure out you had anxiety, and what drew you to yoga to do?
I told you we were going.
I love it. I love that you're on the same page. Well, I've had anxiety my whole life, honestly.
Me too, and
I would have not known it was anxiety because I thought it was normal.
Yeah.
I thought it was normal to feel anxious, and one big thing for me is time anxieties. That's why when I walked in today, was oh, I'm early, and it was wait, I'm not early.
Sorry, I didn't mean to, trigger you.
No, but 10 minutes. If I'm 10 minutes early, I'm late. And so that's something.
That's impressive. So you work on it.
Yeah. So I'm it's gonna be okay. Is anyone gonna? Would I be mad really at someone? I mean, if they were perpetually late, I would think that's a character issue. You're not honoring time, and I think that's important. But am I really going to be upset with someone if they're late? Not really. So why would I treat myself that way? So that's something I have to work through.
That's a good note that I'm going to take.
Yeah,
because I beat myself up hardcore when I'm running away.
We all do.
Why the hell didn't you just start earlier? And then I'm breathing like I can't breathe, and
totally
the whole thing. So. B asked, how does the connectability of yoga work with anxiety?
Yeah.
We need to know.
The day I remember the first time I took a yoga class, I was in one of those child's pose at the time, and I was this is what it feels like to relax in my body. Wow. And it wasn't even about the pose. It was about getting quiet. It was about breathing. And when you breathe, breath is the magic power. You could do a chair pose, a tree pose. I really don't care if whatever. It doesn't matter what shape you are in. But if you can dial into your breath, that's going to help reset your nervous system and regulate that part of your brain that is calm and clear versus fight, flight, or freeze response. Because
I love that you're saying this.
It goes
I
up.
believe you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you bring this up closer?
Yeah.
Do you believe in the nostril breathing effect as opposed to the mouth breathing?
Yes and no, because I think that if you ever land on like something that like this is the way you should do it, when I hear that, I run away because I think, what if you have like a deviated like thing?
Then you have anxiety trying to breathe.
Right, and that's really defeating the purpose.
I get it.
But the reason why yoga has nostril breathing versus mouth breathing is because if you think about like a filter in a pool, your nose hairs has filters.
Yes.
And so you're trapping all the bacteria and all the viruses that are not going to get into your lungs and your body. So mouth breathing, if you're like, then you're trapping everything in. But if you need to breathe through your mouth, breathe through your mouth. It's like, it's okay.
I have a really funny story really quick. You know how I learned about the nose hair thing?
Yeah.
I was, younger and looking at my face, trying to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like. And what I realized I didn't like was those hairs in there. So I took a scissor.
Yes.
Cut it all out.
You're not alone. We all have scissors.
I got so sick. I got really sick.
No, you did?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, within days.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So, and I learned it was because I got all the little hairs out that were trapping all the crap going in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how
The more you know.
That is so interesting.
I have to throw that in there.
I think that's totally...
I mean, I don't think everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be this old and figure it out.
Yeah, and it also, like, nostril breathing slows down the breath. And so when you're breathing slower, your nervous system starts to catch on, and it does a lot of, like, vagal tone. So, like, from your brain to your gut, you relax that part of the nerve.
And I want to ask you something because you said the vagal. I've been reading, I don't know why it's all over the internet lately, but the vagus, is it called
the vagus nerve?
Vagus. First I thought it was dirty.
Vegas.
But then I realized
She usually does
it has
that.
something to do with our central system, and how we treat that is almost more important than a hardcore physical workout.
100.
Isn't that correct?
It is. I mean, even exercise, running, swimming, whatever form of movement that you're doing, you're going to release chemicals in the body, like the feel-good chemicals, endorphins, serotonin, all the things.
All the stuff that we really struggle to find.
Yeah. And then like the vagal tone, it's more like relaxing your system too. So, I mean, you need to like get that stress out of the body. Like we need physical movement. But then I think about what if people don't have legs or arms and they can't move? How can they take care of their body?
I don't know. I saw a guy on the America's Got Talent and he had no like missing the whole
Yeah.
side and he was dancing.
Yeah, people do that. Like there's
People
this
can do stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I admire that will and strength for people more than I can ever say. It's just incredible.
Yeah, there's this guy, I don't know his name, but it's called he goes by No Arms, No Legs, No Worries.
Oh my
You
God.
have to look him up. He's
Wow.
amazing.
I love
He
that.
was born with no arms and no legs, and he's a motivational speaker.
Wow.
And he plays soccer, plays golf. It's unbelievable.
wait.
Yes, I know. You have to just watch it to understand it.
Wow.
I'm trying to visualize that.
Yeah,
And there's
it's
no artificial limbs or nothing.
no. His balance is incredible on a skateboard.
Oh my
Wow.
So my kids were little and they would complain. I would say, "No arms, no legs, no worries."
Oh my God.
And then I would show them the video and be like, "Look at this person. Like we are more than capable of doing so many things." And yeah.
And a lot of us complain about such minor things, and this is a great example to remember what position we are in our world. But I know we're all encompassed in our own body. I was walking one day down the road, and there was this little dog, and he had the wheelies.
Oh yeah.
Happiest dog alive, and I started getting like weepy. And I just looked, and I looked at the lady. I said, "I just learned from your dog today." Which a lot of people do.
That's a great response.
It really was. But I mean,
That is so
showing
cool.
the strength of a vulnerable situation and being able to overcome it is huge. And I think that yoga has a lot to do with that as well. First time I took a yoga class, at the end, I was sobbing. I was
Yeah.
crying. My friend told me I was going through a big self-loathing phase. What time is it? It's just always that way. But she told me to take one of her classes, and I just, at the end, what's it called?
Shavasana.
Shavasana. Yeah, God bless you.
Shavasana.
I was laying there, and all of a sudden, all of my stuff was just pouring out. And she comes over, she goes, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "I can't stop crying." She goes, "Just lay there and cry."
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell is going on?
I feel like it's always a good class when you cry. When I cry.
It sounds like it.
It
yeah.
is. It's so
It's
healing
just a
and
release
cleansing.
and everything.
Unbelievable. I never felt so relieved from stuff. And of course, then life starts happening again, and you have to keep doing yoga. And that's what's good about yoga. Have you ever done yoga, B?
Yes, I actually did a bunch of yoga when I was very small.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
That's
I was one of the, like, very similar to probably the children that you teach.
Yes, I love
Yeah.
that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I did not know that. You took yoga as a kid.
Yeah, my mom's really big into yoga, so
How
I was.
did it work for
Well,
you?
the biggest thing I took away was just learning how to focus on breath and breathing work, and it's helped a lot with my everyday anxieties and stuff for sure.
Nice.
That's the biggest thing. I haven't practiced in a long time, unfortunately, but I should get back to it.
Yeah.
When we're in
It's
the
always
room with
it's
her,
always
you
there
make
for
sure
you.
I'm motivated.
Yeah, it definitely motivates me to actually
I'm
know.
telling you, we are bringing you back. You're going to put us through a
I would
session.
love that.
We will tape it and everybody can play along.
Let's
I
play.
think that's amazing. So you also work, I know that you're bringing up disabilities because you actually work with people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that go? I mean, does that just change their whole life?
I
Or at least
mean,
their outlook?
The whole life.
I meant to say their whole outlook. It's got to do a lot of help.
yeah, I think no
Something.
matter what body you're living in, if it's a
Yeah.
disabled body or an abled body, it's because it's really about your mind. And that's something that I think about, like with anxiety. Like someone might look at me and like, I'm an able bodied person, but anxiety can be a mental disability.
Mhm. Oh, for sure.
And
I feel disabled by it.
and nobody
sometimes.
can see that.
Yeah.
Right.
Or what's happening, or if you're having a panic attack and you're hiding it, or whatever. So I think the practice in and of itself, because like yoga means to connect and to harmonize the mind, body, and spirit. And so like we all can identify with when your mind is saying something and your heart is saying something else, and you're having this argument. Right?
I love
you-
those dichotomies. They're
right?
much fun.
Yeah, and then or your body is doing something and your mind is like, I can't, like I have a torn meniscus and I'm not going to be able to move it, but your mind wants to so badly.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, it happens with an injury. And
Yeah.
then, like, my neck has been bothering me for months. I haven't done any upper arm exercises, and I keep thinking it's so bad for me to not yet. I can't bring myself to doing it. But I think yoga is a different scenario. I don't have to go and lift weights. I can do some minor things just to make myself feel better.
Yes, you can. Come to Melt.
I want to
Come to Melt.
Yeah, and melt sounds
So
amazing.
good.
What's this idea? Now, what's yin?
Yin?
Is it just the opposite of yang?
Yeah. So like in a
You do yin as well.
yeah, I mean, I would say like now that I'm melt trained, I prefer melt over yin.
Okay.
And sorry, yogis who are listening. However, you're targeting the same thing. So like you want to release the connective tissue and hydrate the joints. It's just that the melt method gets you there faster and it feels better, in my opinion.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And that's good to know.
Yeah, and like vinyasa, which is like the practice that most people do when you're moving with breath and motion, that's that's all it means. Like the traditional like Sun Series A, stand up, forward fold, plank, chaturanga, up dog, like that rhythm.
Yeah. Warrior pose.
Yeah, and then yin is more static. So you're holding poses. So say you're in a child's pose
crazy.
for 3 to 5 minutes. And it's meant to still the body, kind of stay with your edge, and so that it has the same benefit with the melt method.
But it takes longer and it's a lot more intense.
It
because when
is.
You're trying to hold a pose.
It's hard.
And you literally have to find something to focus on.
Yeah, and if you want really good mental training, that's a great way to do it,
it's
is
a great
yin.
mind stimulant.
Yeah, and also your body benefits as well. But yeah,
it's also
it's
a great anger stimulant because when I keep falling, I get really mad. It's the whole purpose of yoga.
yeah,
that goes on.
You're
off
like,
the
I'm
window.
done. I'm disconnected. I'm not in harmony with myself anymore.
I'm so not. I need to get back.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, but it's true. I mean, I've literally gotten frustrated doing yoga.
I think if you're human doing yoga, you get frustrated. Sometimes I get bored. Sometimes
Yeah.
like I don't want to be in this pose. Sometimes I'm like, why did I even come today? I mean,
Okay. So it's not always like,
No.
sometimes you might have to drag yourself just because
Oh.
you're going through what you're going through. But once you've done it,
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever leaves a class and says,
Mad, except for
I wish I didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
any form of movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like it's like getting there is so hard. It's just
Yeah.
part of just committing.
It's like any form of exercise when you decide that you want to start going into a routine. It's the starting part that is the hardest. But then when you get into that routine, you don't want to stop. You actually become hungry for it.
Yeah.
But it takes a couple of steps to get that hungry part. And that's the issue with a lot of people. They don't, I have this reason. I have this excuse. Oh, well, I was going to go today, but my neck hurts. I'm not going to do this exercises today. And
Well, that's always the hardest part for sure. So
yeah, but once you get into it, and then not only is it giving you a way to show yourself self-love and self-care, but you are working on a mental capacity that you're not even aware of that you're doing.
Yeah, it's magic.
I love it. I love that. I'm really excited about that. Now, tell me a little bit about what you do with the children and how does it affect them in their lives?
Yeah, it's something I wish I had when I was a kid, so I get to like share it with other children. I started off with my kids. I was going through my adult training, and my kids were 2 and 3. And I loved, we did story time. And so what I ended up doing was every time I read a traditional book, I would create movement with the book and breath work and a meditation. And so like the story would come to life through the yoga practice. And then it ended up turning into a business for me. And it was like I wrote a couple books and some
yoga. I have that down too. You're a writer. I mean, this woman is everything.
Oh my gosh.
amazing.
It's like everything just all comes into like, how do we stay calm and centered and make the world a better place?
So you have the same altruistic purpose that we do. You just want to give people any good place to go or be to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, we need it. We need each other. I mean,
oh my gosh.
But going back to what sort of effects do you think it has on children, and what are the benefits for them?
Yeah. Well, a couple things would be it helps increase focus and concentration for sure. It helps with I think social relationships because I'm in a group setting with kids. We do self-reflection. We talk about our feelings. We allow feelings to happen. We do a highlight and a low light. So when they come in, we'll process our day before we even get moving. We do breath work to talk about how to regulate your system. And I like to give kids a lot of different options because not everyone's going to work the same way. So when they come into the classroom, I'll have some really calming music playing because it really does set the tone. I'll have some cards or we play Jenga.
Oh, Jenga's fun.
And I put yoga poses on them.
Oh, very fun.
And questions like, what's your favorite thing about a person? What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
No, I was a fidgety kid, and I would probably feel like a goof in something like this. What do you do with kids that are just so not ready to focus on something like? There's a lot of kids that are bouncing off their seats.
Well, that's why it's so great because you get to move. And
do they finally get into it?
Oh yeah, you know what their favorite pose is?
What?
Shavasana.
And they like that?
It's their favorite pose because I think it's the only time they have permission besides going to bed to rest.
Aww.
So
I like that.
sometimes I actually start my class that way. And we have blankets and pillows and eye pillows, and I'll guide them through a meditation. Wow. And I'll play some sound bowls or read a story.
What a great way to grow up.
Yeah, I want to be them. And
they won't have anxiety.
Well, I think that's the goal. Anxiety is real. Everyone has some form of it. We need it to survive, right?
On how you're wired.
Right, and we need it to survive. I always say anxiety means you care.
Well, I care. Why?
And then it's like, how is it is it debilitating your life? Is it giving you anxiety? Is your anxiety giving you a stomach ache? That's not healthy. Is your anxiety giving you a panic attack? That's not healthy. How do I work with the anxiety that I have? And I think with the kids, they have tools quicker and then they know what to do. So the best feedback is when parents come and tell me that, say there's an argument in the house or something happened, and their child is the one telling them how to do box breathing.
Wow. Did you say box breathing?
Box breathing.
So is this, because I was going to ask, sometimes we have a bad day, and sometimes we have an anxiety attack.
Yeah.
And we have to pull over because we're hyperventilating. Is this where the box breathing comes in?
It could if it works for you, because sometimes I think certain breath techniques can cause anxiety for some people because they want to do it right. So, they're like, wait, am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? So I think that the practice is, the goal is to, before the anxiety attack happens. I think when you're in an anxiety attack, honestly, so if someone's going to tell you to breathe, you're going to
punch you.
Exactly. Yeah. I just refrained from choice words. So, I mean, that's hard when you're in it, but it's like the more you have these practices, then when you're in a stressful situation, the easier it is to access them. And so
wait, before it comes on, you do the work before
you kind of know your
place.
Signs.
Yeah.
You know your
feel
signs. You feel
right?
it. So you're like, okay, what can I do to take care of myself? And I teach the kids that, like, you can put your hands under the desk. If you're feeling stressed out, no one has to know what you're doing. No one can see you. So finger tapping, like tapping your fingers,
and I heard this is good.
That's so, giving yourself a hug, tapping your body.
Tapping. I've heard of it. I mean, is that what this is, tapping?
Yeah, that's tapping. I mean, there's methods of tapping, but I just tap your fingers, and we say a mantra with it, and we'll say, peace begins with me.
See, they didn't teach us that when
No.
we were, especially back in the old days. No, seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, people thought I was just a crazy little child.
No, you weren't. They just, and that's what's so sad to me is that, like, kids get, like, in trouble because they're moving or they can't sit still. But, like, if they had some regulating techniques, that could be really helpful. I mean, my hope one day is that this, like, mindfulness is in schools, like math and science. Like, I just think it should be.
More important almost.
Yeah, because you can't even learn math and science if you don't have a regulated nervous system.
I had anxiety attacks learning math. I had a class on how to deal with what I was going through, because I mean, there's nothing going on in the left brain.
I get it.
Right brain.
Yeah.
So math for me is still out on my fingers to this day, and I've gotten through. But in class, when there was a test, I would start having panic. I would start like I couldn't even breathe.
Yeah.
It was bad. I mean, I've been this way forever. But I would always go into meltdown mode during a test.
Yeah.
And all they ever did was yell at me and tell me to go see the principal.
Right. And then it's like
spank me or anything, but they were like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I can't figure it out. I can't understand it. Nobody back then. I didn't really care.
Yeah.
They were like, come on, push through.
Right, and I do think we're evolving. We're getting there.
There's more recognition of people with mental health issues than there's ever been, and there's more acceptance as well. It's almost like coming out of the mental closet.
Yes, it is.
It really is. I mean, I still have trouble talking about a lot of my stuff, and I mean, I should, because it's only stifling. And with everybody, I think the most important thing is to talk about what's going on, do classes and do things that will make you feel better and work your body and work your mind and stay stimulated.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so happy that you're here right now, because this is important, and I'm really excited about not only the yoga that you do, but you also deal with trauma-sensitive people. And then there's something else which is curious to me, cultures of dignity. I probably need that. What is
that? Her name is Rosalind Wiseman. I'm blocking out. So I work for Mountain Youth, and we took this course for Cultures of Dignity, which is really...
It's one of the classes you took.
Yeah, it's a class, and we, like, a lot of the teachers got trained in it to... Basically, everyone has dignity, and it has like self-regulation. Talks about neuroplasticity, and there was these cute little tiny guides, and it's like a little dinosaur. It's really kid-friendly stuff that we're talking about. So it's just the name of the program.
I got you, but it also probably teaches them a little bit of how to express their dignity and learn about.
Like one thing I loved about the class was that everybody, like we all have like this inherent worth, like no matter who you are, what you are.
Oh, I love that.
And talked about the difference between respect and dignity. And I never heard that before, that difference. Like respect is like the way we were raised, maybe.
Be afraid
like,
of your parents.
Be afraid. Children should be seen and not heard.
Yes.
Things like that. Or, I'm the elder, so you must respect me, even if there's abuse happening.
I mean, you never saw children running around restaurants
No.
and throwing crayons across the room.
Right. Because you would be afraid to get spanked or something.
That's right.
But like respect is earned and dignity is always there.
I love that.
And that was the one thing about that program that I was a huge takeaway for me.
That's really great. I wish I took a class like that. The one thing I believe, no matter what you go through in life, if you can keep your dignity, that's a really big step of self-worth.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people lose their dignity in situations where they just forget, so it's really something that people can always have and tap into.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you another question, but you kind of answered it, and I don't want to get too personal, but you took this journey for a reason. Mm-hmm. Do you want to tell us why?
Oh yeah, I'm so transparent.
Okay.
Even all my classes, I always tell them to I'm not here with my stuff all together.
Thank God.
Yeah, this is why I do what I do, and once a month I go to Eagle Valley High School and I partner with the health teacher there and bring mindfulness techniques.
Oh, nice.
And it's through the Vitality Collective that another teacher and I go so that the health classes can get some mindfulness. And I always say, if I had this when I was your age, it would have changed my life. And so I had an eating disorder starting at I'm thinking 10.
Wow.
And I always celebrate that I'm 20 years free of binging and purging my food.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I think even though I can't imagine that, I don't even who was that girl,
Right.
but
But
the reality is I have a default, and my default is when I'm nervous or stressed out, I go back to controlling my food or something like that. Okay. Even though I'm not participating in starving or binging and purging, my brain says, oh, you don't eat, or, oh, my brain will say, you're fat, or,
wow.
So I have to really work through that. So recovery is recovery. I'm going to therapy tomorrow, and so grateful for therapy.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. I
mean, this is wonderful that you recognized it, you got past it, and you got to keep doing it.
Yeah, you have to keep doing the work. And so I always tell the high school students that, learning, that's one thing with the yoga practice, is because it's a physical practice, I got into my body.
Nice.
And
and it probably made you aware of more and recognize more and see that what your mind thought you were looking at wasn't real.
Yeah, and having the body dysmorphia and seeing something different. And then as I've healed, I look at pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? That is so sad that my brain really had a different perception. So that is really why that is kind of my story.
I think it's a beautiful story. And I think that you're so strong. And for somebody to come out of something like that and use what they've been through for good and to help others and to teach and to bring forth all the positive stuff about it, because I don't know if you probably even know this, and I'm getting the goosebumps just saying it, but you probably may have saved a number of people from ending up with dysmorphia or anorexia or bulimia or all of the other eating disorders that are happening to girls, especially when they look at the magazines and they see all these women with the poofed out everything. I mean, now everything's poofed out. It used to be everything has to be
right, want to be super skinny. Now it's the opposite. Get butt implants.
Implanting everything, But my point is that I feel like what you do now is changing the pace and the mindset of so many young people.
It's the hope.
It is the hope, but I feel like it is happening. I just do. There's no way it's not happening.
Yeah, and you have like little people. Like I had a parent stop me in the grocery store one time, and I was like, "This is the best." And her daughter is a swimmer, and I taught this breath work. It was like dragon breath or something, I don't know. And she goes, "Oh my gosh!" She got her whole entire swim team to do this breath work because they were all so scared to go like swim and do their meet.
way.
Wow.
And she had everyone doing dragon breath, and dragon breath is like you breathe in and you're like, like totally like releasing and sticking your tongue out. And
I've been in classes that they do that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? That guy had garlic bread. I don't want to be doing that.
that is
around
kind of the
these
worst when you're in a class and you smell
people.
that.
I've been to a laughter yoga class. I thought I was just.
That's the best.
You liked it?
I think it's hysterical.
Ass.
But you can't stop laughing.
See,
It's so
I
funny.
am a very funny naturally person.
Yeah,
and
you
I just
are.
felt like it was so stupid.
You could. Were you laughing or were you
I
not
was
laughing?
Just going. But I felt like it was dumb. I felt stressed out.
Yeah. Well,
'Cause
then
I don't want to be forced into laughing.
Yeah.
You gotta laugh. Laughter comes from the gut. Laughter comes from life and nature. And
but it's contagious. Laughing is contagious.
no, I'll give you that. Like sometimes I'll be watching something online and it'll be a kid that's just losing it. Next thing you know, you just find yourself losing it with that child. So that's fun. And I do agree with you that laughter is contagious. But in a yoga class, I'm like, I want to be zen.
Yeah.
I don't want to be doing this right now.
That's okay. That's why there's different stuff for everyone.
Yeah.
Mad during happy yoga.
That's awesome.
So,
That's the
do you mind
first.
if the three of us do a box breathing?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
I don't know why I'm putting the mic close. I don't want people to hear me breathing.
All right. So when you breathe, you want to sit up tall. So you want to have your spine nice and tall so that you have access to your breath. I like to put my hands on my heart and my belly so that you can feel. So then just close your eyes if that feels good to you. We'll just take a nice slow breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. We'll do one more. Inhale through the nose, out of the mouth. So just imagine if you're a visual person, you can draw a box in your mind, but you're going to inhale and hold your breath at the top. Exhale. Hold your breath at the bottom. Inhale. Hold your breath at the top. Exhale. Hold your breath at the bottom. And then inhale. Hold your breath at the top. Exhale. And hold your breath at the bottom. Inhale and open your eyes. I'm going to show you with a visual because it could help if you're a visual person to see a box. So
I felt like it was in the box.
yeah, you could be in the box.
I was in the box.
That's so cool.
Totally in it.
So like another way is you inhale, hold, exhale, hold. So you're drawing a box with your breath.
Oh, so it gives you the time, too.
Yeah. And then I'm only giving you 1 or 2 holds, and then you can increase it. So you can go
Oh.
inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3,
Oh, I like
4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. But 4 is a long count, so I think
I like it, though. I think that the concentration of just the count alone is
Yes.
a meditation.
it is.
Right?
It is. It's a counting meditation.
Because people think, this is another funny weird one, but like I tried regular meditation and I'm like, get to the shins already. I don't like when they're like, start at the toes and feel it. Now you're at the heels. I'm like, oh my God, how long is it going to take to get to the shoulders? I can't do it. I can't.
That's okay.
I get anxiety
So
during
maybe,
meditation.
yeah.
I mean, is it meditation? Yeah, meditation. So what I have learned, which is so cool, because not everybody is wired the same, obviously. Even music is meditation.
Oh,
If you pick a song and you just sit with that song, you can literally put these on, right? I know, I caught it before it fell. And you just take that song and you make that song your entire world in your head. And you can listen to it 5 times. First you listen to all the words. Then you listen to all the sounds. Then the harmonies. And then the instruments. And then you try and pick out the violin, the cello, the bass. By the time you've listened to that song a few times, I mean, Another way to I almost said masturbate. You can do it to that too. Then there's a rhythm.
I love it.
But that's another form of meditation, which I think is just expressively wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think like finding something that works for you. And that's why I was like, I like run when people say it should be this way or that way.
Yeah.
Because you were like, when you were talking, you just looked so relaxed. Like that is your thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's going to speak to you. Or like for my husband, he's going to go for a walking meditation.
Oh, yeah?
Like that feels very soothing to his
That's
system.
Nice.
Everyone has something different and is finding what works. So like in the kids classes, I try to expose them to different things. So it's like either some music or moving. Yoga as a form, or writing. Like
writing is a big deal.
Writing out whatever that you need to do, or I'll have coloring. So if you're an artist, and so you have different modalities to experience what's going to work for you and figure it out. And I think like how cool as a kid to be like, wow, you know what really works for me? Doodling.
Doodling is great, and it keeps your mind busy.
For sure.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I love
true, and everybody's different. I took a friend of mine to an art class once. And cause she's really like, she's like, I live in a box. I mean, she's like so crazy, hyper. And so I said, you have so much angst. Let's go take this painting class together. Well, I'm like feeling really good. I'm like having fun, just learning how to. She's over there getting super mad because it wasn't perfect. And it didn't look right, and she wanted a new canvas. I mean, I was like, oh my god, this is supposed to be
Fun.
You're like, this is not fun.
It's not fun or relaxing, and then she got me all anxious. So yeah, not everything is right for everybody.
No.
But if you find that thing,
Stick
and I do
with
believe
it.
The music for me is great.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think that any kind of artistic project or just something to keep your mind occupied.
Well, it's super great that you're exposing children to so many different forms so then they can figure it out sooner,
Right.
which is something that like I'm still trying to figure out some of my best courses of action.
What
Yeah.
have you tried?
Well, a lot of different things, movement, a lot of creative forms. Box breathing actually is my major go-to whenever
Oh, it
I'm like
is?
my day-to-day. Yeah, so it's
you
like
were already box breathing before we box breathed.
yeah. It also helps. I have asthma, so it helps with understanding my breath and where it's at in that as well. So
That's
it
awesome.
helps that as well. So
What's your count?
Yeah, right?
What count do you do?
here, let me see it. Let me see if I can.
Okay, let's do it. Ready?
I'll do it then.
I would go for another one, but
Five.
six.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
you
your
have some
eyes-
really
but
good
you get so into it
breath
that your
capacity.
eyes actually
It took a long
flutter.
time to do that. It
Yeah.
helped with
Flutter
like
when you
understanding
do
my
it.
asthma as
Yeah,
well
I
to try and
noticed
work on that.
means that they're like really deep into
Yeah,
it, right?
Box breathing's your
That's
jam.
insane.
I love box breathing.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Yeah, bro. I wish, Liz. I wish.
Okay, now we are having such a wonderful time, and we are learning so much from you. And I'm definitely bringing you back for a session.
Yes.
But what did you have something?
No.
Oh, we have something that we call the hot seat.
Okay.
Every week we put the local of the week on the hot seat, and we ask you a question, and it's just your opinion and how you feel about something.
Okay.
And since you work closely with kids, we figured this would be a perfect question for you.
Sure. So nowadays, young girls are putting on full makeup younger and younger. How do you feel about that for like boosting their self-confidence, or do you think they're starting too young?
I mean, they're literally doing the full-on creams and everything. We're teaching.
Foundation and everything.
Well, if it's an opinion.
Yes.
It is. It's
Opinions.
It's just all about opinion. Nobody's gonna.
Judge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a mom to sons, so I don't have to really worry about that.
Wait, you don't know that yet.
Well, they're 18 and 17, and I haven't
then
been there
you
yet.
Yeah.
We never had to go through the makeup phase.
I don't know that. I started
Yeah.
at 23, so I don't
well.
know. You still have some years.
I do. You're right. You're
Oh,
right.
no, you're right.
Well, as of
100%.
this point in my life, I haven't had to deal with the makeup
So
conversation.
what do you think when you see? Because you're you're around kids when you see
Yeah.
girls, they're
Well,
all
I
like,
haven't. It depends. Well, how young?
I feel like it's a different demographic that are going to a yoga studio than the.
It
I
is.
think so.
Yeah, and they're also younger. I mean, how young are girls wearing?
Literally, what we have been seeing on
Yeah.
major network TVs and everything like that people are having big arguments about are girls that are like 8, 9, and 10, and they are foundationing, they are doing the light correctiveness, and they're putting on mascara and the lipstick, and it gives them joy. But then there's so many people with the comments about it's not teaching them the right way to look at themselves, or it's just teaching them to spend way too much money on product. There's so many dichotomies.
Yeah.
But I don't want to.
No.
You can have an opinion.
I do have an opinion, and I'm someone here with gray hair and don't really wear makeup
I know, but God, you're
on
beautiful.
purpose. I mean,
She's not gorgeous.
She is gorgeous.
I was in there doing all the things.
Yeah. No, I mean, I have like, I have lipstick on, I'll have a little mascara. I think like if, it brings you joy, yes. But I also think what is the messaging that we are like our whole society of messaging, like you have to like do something to look better all the time.
Correct.
It's exhausting.
Yes.
And I think like a 9-year-old, if they're doing like the makeup and the whole thing, I don't know. I just think people are so naturally beautiful.
I agree.
And
their moms are taking them shopping for it, so they are encouraging it.
yeah, and I
They're
just think
spending
it's
the
like a buy-in to like the societal like expectation.
Yeah.
Just like when we were talking about like when like our generations were like, you have to be super skinny. Like it was skinny, 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 and now it's like full.
Right.
So
I'm
I
like,
mean,
what's too late?
yeah, like I'm like throwing up my food because I'm not, like
Right.
I don't want to, I want to look like everybody else.
Exactly.
And I think that's another element too of like, why are we always trying to look the same?
Ooh, I know. I find different to be more exotic and to be more fun and intriguing.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just to have
Absolutely.
some difference about
Oh,
you,
absolutely.
If everybody looked like.
Well,
Stepford
that's
wives or
what's
the clone-
happening.
Well,
Yeah.
it's scary. It really is. So I think that there should be an age limit, and I don't want to sound like a ditty or whatever, but I do think that you shouldn't let an 8-year-old be putting on mascara and all that stuff.
Well,
yet,
I think
because
'cause you're
I
8.
discover
Yeah,
how
'cause you're
beautiful
8.
they are then.
Like you're 8, you're not 20.
8.
Like, I mean, or 16.
You shouldn't care about that
You
sort of thing.
shouldn't care. I didn't even. It wasn't because of my mom or anything. But it was like telling me what to do. I was afraid of mascara. I don't know why, and I wore it later in life. But boy, once I started, I was like, "What was I thinking?" That was so much better. But I did wait, and I just think that people should really learn to accept their looks and who they are before they want to play and enhance and have some fun. That's all right.
Yeah.
But when you're 8 years old, you should be playing hopscotch.
And you only get to be 8 once.
Yeah, and it's already hard on the kids because there's so much social media out there where they have like a Kardashian that's popping out another move or whatever they're doing, and there's always some kind of influencer
Yes.
that is trying to make people feel like, oh God, I need to be like that.
Yeah. And it's a hard one because someone asked me recently, like, their daughter wants earrings and she's 9. And they're like, when did you get earrings? I'm like, well, I'm from an Italian New York Catholic family. I had earrings when I was like 4.
Right.
I was like, so I don't know if I'm the right person to ask.
I know. Right? It's a girl.
Yeah.
Little baby earrings.
It's true. You see babies. With
Yeah. I mean, I was 4 years old. So, I mean, I think it's your belief system, but I do think as a society, like, I don't know. I just think kids could be kids and we have the rest of our lives to
worry.
Wear makeup and play and grow and look like an adult.
Yeah. I spent most of my young years not feeling good, pretty enough or hot enough or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I look back at pictures and my husband goes, damn, you were really hot. I'm like, and then I look, I'm like, I was so cute. Why didn't I feel cute?
Yeah.
Feel cute. feel cute
Yes.
right now because you probably are, and you just don't. I don't know what we see, but it's something that's why you are here, because I think that you bring this dynamic into people's worlds where they can connect to themselves, and that's what mostly I believe yoga is.
Yes.
Yes.
Bringing that all of that in and learning to give a big crap about yourself.
Yep.
And feeling that light and that internal peace and that calm. And if people could start at a young age, imagine what a less chaotic life this world may be in 20 years.
Yeah, kinder, more compassionate.
Because it ain't now.
Yeah.
We need it.
We need it so bad. So thank you to you
Yeah.
for changing. You're changing the world.
Yeah.
You do know that, right? You are changing.
That's my
the world.
hope.
Yeah, you are. No, you are. I mean, if you guys want to bring your children to enjoy something that is magical in their life, you've got to get in touch with you. So all I have is rachelglowacki.com.
Yes.
Is there any other way to reach you?
That's the easiest way.
That's the easiest way, and your number's there. And
Everything's there.
And I mean, I gotta say, I learned so much about this beautiful woman in just a short amount of time just by going to it. I am gonna spell it because some of the people are only listening.
And it'll be down in the comments as well.
Oh yeah,
With a link.
See, the tech guy knows.
Yeah,
You never
thanks.
know what you're doing. You never know what you're doing, B, but I love you for it. But it's Rachel, Rachel, and Glowacki, like you're glow and you're wacky. glowacki.com. I am so grateful that you were here. Would you come back and put us through a class?
Yeah, that'd be super fun.
That would be amazing.
I'll
We
just
would
set
love
it up.
that.
We could do
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
we'll do-
hit, a little yoga.
Oh, that'd be
I'm so excited. I
amazing.
think we got all of what that we needed with you.
Oh, for sure.
And you were enlightening.
Yes.
And super, super fantastic.
Absolutely.
And we're so glad that we had you. as
Yeah,
guests today.
absolutely.
Thank you
so much for
I
coming.
appreciate it.
Episode 10. That's a wrap,
Yeah.
everybody. Thank you so much. Rachel Glowacki, if you want to feel good, you don't even have to be a kid. You can be anybody. Be saying wrap it up before I smack you. All right. Lots of love, everybody.
Lots
Peace,
of love.
light, and happiness.